Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we got potentially a significant severe weather setup been going on across the Arctic region or around Louisiana and the adjacent states into portions of the southeast and up into the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley region. Uh, we'll be going over my forecast. You can see the SPC here. And we'll be taking a look into a few models here. There's also some other threats going along with it as well. So, let's go ahead and begin with the SPC outlook here. So, this is day 6, which is Tuesday. We got a 50% slight risk over across eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, most of Mississippi, and central and northern Louisiana. Now, we do not have the specific details on this here for severe weather threats. On this one here, not quite just yet. It is still far out, so things could change. And keep in mind, it's also a 2-day event. It does move into day 7, which is Wednesday. It's particularly too low, but I have to disagree with them on that one. Unless the 0Z model run shows something different for the GFS, which I'll show you both of those models in just a moment. Here's your severe weather ingredients checklist here. So this is for both days. I forgot to change the date here. Let me go ahead and do this really quick here. Day 6 and 7. So, your low level jet, your cape, wind shear, helicity, vorticity 2 points, lift index, those are all good. The lap rates is a little bit different story here. After looking into some model runs here, the lap rates, I forgot to change this here, is favorable on day 6. We're talking about lap rates that could be potentially up to 6 to 7 degrees Celsius. Actually, 7 to 8 degrees Celsius, my bad. And But if you move on to day 7, it is actually favorable to the south, but not to the north. All you need for lap rates is over 7 degrees Celsius. We actually have a 7 to 8 range, and some areas reaching over 8 degrees Celsius across the south, which is like the lap rates increases the damage winds and the hail threat. It makes those storms larger. Um, so the lap rates is actually starting to come into play on this one. So here's my forecast here on day 6 here. Pretty much similar to the SPC here. Basically, there's a select risk for pretty much all of Louisiana and Mississippi. It also includes eastern Texas, uh, southeastern Arkansas, and kind of moving up into Memphis, Tennessee there as well. And again, we do not have the Pacifics on the main severe weather risk just yet. And here's day 7 here. It's pretty much a long line here, and it extends from like around Mobile, Pensacola, Panama City Beach, and it moves north through all of Alabama, northwestern Georgia, through central eastern Tennessee, and also central and eastern Kentucky here. And again, we do not have the Pacifics for the severe weather risks. We don't really know yet. But what we do know is there's a chance for severe weather for these guys here on day 6 and 7. Let's go ahead and move on to some models here. I almost forgot to mention here. There's going to be some impressive snowfall totals by New York State here. There's going to be one area in particular that could see up to 3 feet of snow. It's going to show more than what the model is showing here. But if we use the NAM here, gives you a better idea. It's not even close to, it's over 2 feet of snow, but models do indicate, well, the National Weather Service did say it could be up to 3 feet of snow. It could be a little bit more as well. That's could be impressive. You can tell here how this lake effect snow goes. It goes all the way through here. Pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and move on back to the severe weather threat stuff. And let's go ahead and move on into Tuesday at 5 o'clock here. Your low pressure system is currently over Texas and Oklahoma here. You got some nice southerly winds here. You got pretty mild air going on here. You got 50s as far north as Iowa there. Pretty impressive there. even Grand Rapids there too, to Michigan. So any snow that's left up there is going to melt very quickly. And as we kind of move on to the overnight hours, this is when the storm system really starts to get its act together. You got a lot of strong severe thunderstorms anywhere from kind of around near Houston all the way up to near Paducah, Kentucky. I'm not going to try to pronounce that city name there. I'm not going to say it that well, but as you can see, there's a pretty good indication for a line of some strong to severe thunderstorms. So move on into about in the middle of the night, if it will let me. Here you go. Then you have another low pressure system that develops here. You can also tell here we actually got a training line of storms here, and there's a flash flooding threat to this here, and that is not a good thing. Um, Rainfall amounts wise, coming off for the Euro, we're talking about rainfall amounts. See what it says here. Yeah, some areas might see up to 8 inches of rain. That is a lot of rain. We don't need that at all. However, some of these areas here are actually below average on rain, but this is going to change it completely. So move it to 9 o'clock Wednesday morning. Hello? You're going to move? Here you go. So here's noon here. Let me show you something. Here's your low pressure system here. It's actually a pretty strong low pressure system here. You've got your front coming along here, and it's a pretty good front as well. And I want to let you guys know something that the warm sector, oh boy, those southerly winds are very strong. You can tell by those isobars here are very close to each other. Whoops. And the European models, well, I'll show you guys that in a moment, but here's your warm front. It is way up there. And when you get streaks like this here, for the European model, that's an indication of supercells here. So that is something you really need to keep. We need to really keep an eye on. Is there's a potential for some supercells across the deep south into the Tennessee Valley, and that's just something we just really need to keep an eye on there. And the GFS so shuffling very similar to that, and then those storms move very, very quickly to the east there. Later in the day on Wednesday, the severe weather front may be able to continue into past the Appalachian Mountains, but we're not so sure on that there yet. If we kind of move on later in the day, you can see most of your severe weather front actually does diminish. Let's kind of move on into the GFS model here. So let's kind of restart this here. So what I think this is probably the 0Z run. No, this is the 6Z model run. So for the GFS model here, you got your warm front up here that's pretty visible. Again, you got very mild air in the warm sector. Let's kind of move on to 7 o'clock here. Your low pressure system eventually should start to develop somewhere along here. It says it's down here, but I think it's going to be more around this area here somewhere. There's another low pressure system up to the northwest. If we move on to 11 o'clock here, now you got a stationary front here of just heavy rain, just basically a training line of storms. And that kind of moves on to the overnight hours, and then it really starts to get itself together. I mean, look at Wednesday at 4 o'clock. That's definitely some supercell signatures going on in around Alabama to Georgia. Meanwhile, to the north, there's a flash flooding threat. So let's look into those rainfall totals. You can see it really bullseyes around Kentucky. Like, I mean, 9 inches of rain. That's really ridiculous. Let's back this up again. I want to show you guys. Let's take a look into the Euro on this one. The winds. Yeah. Not thunderstorm winds, but the southerly winds are going to be very, very strong. And keep in mind the European model's been very, very consistent in the past days now. We're talking about days. So the European model just has a lot of confidence that this could happen here. I'm not gonna. Yeah, let's try our wind gust. That's even worse. So this is 9 o'clock on Tuesday here. Your low pressure system is currently over in Arkansas. Let's move to 3 o'clock here. Your survey winds really start to pick up speed as that low pressure does deepen. You can see here about 40 to 55 mile per hour wind gusts here across Tennessee, pretty much the deep south, the Ohio Valley, and the Tennessee Valley. Let's move on 10 o'clock. Yeah, zoom in here. Look around Tennessee here. You got winds gust up to, look at that, 86 miles per hour. That is ridiculous. Look here along the front. Very similar, up to 80 miles per hour. This is really ridiculous, guys. And like I said, it's been very consistent here. It's been around the 70 to 80 mile per hour range here. And there was even one point around that here. There was an 86 mile per hour point, and it shows that again there for Tennessee. But those are for like the higher elevations, so it does make sense. The GFS is a little bit further south here. As you can see, there's still some pretty good wind gusts if we kind of move on a little bit further in time. Again, with those serious severe wind gusts there. Now, for some reason, I think, if I am correct here, the windy show a little bit different story than some of the other winds websites here with the GFS. I don't know what's going on there, but let's take a look into the GFS model here. And as you can see here, here comes your trough coming in. That's going to be your big troublemaker. Now, the big question is it going to be a negative tilt trough or a positive tilt trough? This is a positive tilt trough right now, currently. Your negative tilt trough is something like this here, which is starts to show something like that here a little bit later. Yeah, there's your negative tilt right here, later in the day on Wednesday. But man, those winds are screaming. 121 knots, you need 50 to get some severe weather issues. And yeah, we're talking about winds up to 120 miles per hour. Let's get to a little bit more to the warm sector. We'll probably get a better idea here. We need to back this up a little bit. Yeah, it's not showing anything great. Yeah, let's back this up here a little bit. Yeah. Your front is right here. It's a little bit positive tilt here, but it starts to become a little bit negative. That's probably why those storms start to move very fast across the north here. That means across Kentucky and Tennessee, because the trough becomes negatively tilted. So those storms looks like they may be moving very fast. So you're not going to have a lot of time here if you're going to be in a tornado warning or the severe thunderstorm warning. That is possible there that we could see storms moving very fast. That's going to be very concerning. That's going to make things a lot more dangerous. Even when there's going to be a tornado on the ground, you got storms moving very fast. Let's look into the vorticity here. So this is your energy in the upper levels. And as you can see, we got decent amount of energy out ahead of this line here. You can see here across Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. And it really starts to amplify as it kind of gets into Kentucky. I mean, that is just tons of energy here. And so the vorticity is basically there, coming off of the GFS. If we look to the forecast sounding, I am not doing a good job forecast soundings, but there was a point here. There was a PDS tornado signature down south here. It's not good at all. It kind of moves out. We're going to skip the dew points there. We're going to move on to the super SOCOM side. We'll try to make things go a little bit quicker. We may just skip the European model on this video, just to make the video shorter. It's taking a little bit to load. The internet's terrible here, as always. Um, so here's your supercell composites here. So we kind of move on a little bit later into the run here. You see here are pretty good values down in Alabama. Yellow, that's basically between 2 and 3. Let this load. Yeah, tornado potential. The effective layer STP is actually a little bit up as well, so there's a medium chance for EF0, EF1, EF2. Now it's too far out to see forecast soundings, but we're just looking at a few of them. And that's from the GFS. Let's kind of move on to the Euro. This is your 500 millibar winds. When you get divergence like this here, that's going to be something to watch here. It's this divergence here. It's going to increase some of the severe weather potential across the north. Again, very strong winds here, with those winds kind of going about 100 and nearly 130 knots. We'll take a look into the precipitation on this one. Oh, I think I realized I don't know what I did wrong. I think I was looking onto the 0Z GFS here, which is showing something a little bit more, very similar to the Euro. And the 6Z was showing a little bit different. So here you go. So this is the your low pressure system here, 987 millibars. That's a little bit significant, especially when it's that far south. That's really going to increase the wind shear and the winds out of the south. That's why the winds can be very strong. It's because you're going to be close to that low pressure system, and it's the millibars. It's a pretty low pressure. 984 here. You got some supercell potential here for like Alabama, potentially to Georgia, up into Tennessee, and potentially into Kentucky there. And your severe weather threat starts to diminish as it reaches to the east coast. Um, Not a lot of other things here from the Euro here to show, but anyways, guys, things are, one thing to say is things will change here. It is about 6 days out, it's just under a week out, so a lot of things could change, so just not don't worry too much about it yet across the south because a lot of things could change. So, but anyways, guys, this is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this severe weather little update. If y'all did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If y'all guys got questions about this, you can put in comment section down below. I will answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.